All right, here we go. This is Garrett, tears2joyministries.org. This video is called, Did the Apostles Sin? That's right. Did the apostles sin? We're talking about, John, Peter, Paul, everybody else, James, Matthew. Did they sin? The answer is absolutely yes. Yes, they did sin, but God in his sovereignty and power, chose not to have too many of the sins showcased in the New Testament. That's why when you read the New Testament, you don't hear about their sins too often, actually. And this confuses a lot of Christians. And it's gonna confuse brand new Christians. And this video might be geared a little bit more towards the newer type of a Christian, man or woman, boy or girl, who honestly and seriously want to ask, did the apostles sin? Because when I read the Bible, it doesn't really point out their sins much. And I want you to know they sinned just as much as you and me. They are no better than you and me. They're no worse than you and me. They were not holier than you and me are now, and they were not more righteous than you and me are now. You see, God chose not to have their sins showcased in the New Testament. I could go into a couple of reasons why, but that would be another video. I want you to know, just say for example, Peter, James, Matthew, they battled the same filthy things that you and me battle. They had giants in their lives just like you and me have giants. They battled addictions possibly at different times in their lives, the way that you and me battle addictions. Did you know that Peter even said so when Peter said, children of God, don't think that what you're going through is strange, but that other Christians all over the world are going through the exact same thing. How do you think Peter learned that? By battling sinning his entire life. That's how he learned it. The apostles sinned every single day, just like you and me sin every day. Now, if you don't know how we sin every day, we have videos on this topic. Just go to my YouTube channel and use the little search window and type in sinning and be super blessed. So yes, they sinned just like you and me sinned. They made mistakes just like you and me make mistakes. They fell down, and just like you and me fall down sometimes. They messed up just like you and me mess up also. They're no different than us, none whatsoever. I know that Christians like to elevate the apostles to a special position, to a special place. That's God's plan. God planned it for it to be that way. God planned it that in the year 2016, when we read the Bible, we would view Peter in a little bit of a special way. Or we would view Paul in a special way. God planned this. This is God's plan, and it's perfect. God did the exact same thing to Moses, and Moses sinned all the time too. God did the same thing to Joshua. Same exact thing, and Joshua sinned also. We all do. So to wrap up this video, yes, the apostles sinned every single day of their lives, just like you and me sin every single day of our lives. There is nobody on earth who has stopped sinning except Jesus, who never sinned. Only Jesus is special, not anybody else. Paul was not special. Peter was not special. We don't have to name all their names. They were not special. God did not love them more than he loves you. No, no, no. All right. I pray that this video is clearing up a lot of questions that some Christians might have had. Do you know it was common in the Bible for God not to mention any sins by certain people? Now, I'm just using my memory. It is 12 o'clock midnight. But for example, and you guys can help me too, if you want to contact me on Facebook or Twitter, Samuel, I can't remember any sin being mentioned in the Bible about Samuel. How about Daniel? I cannot think of any sin that Daniel did that was mentioned in the Bible. Does that mean that Samuel and Daniel didn't sin? Of course they did. Of course they did, every single day. The number one sin that we commit every day, every hour, every minute of our lives is we don't love God enough. Daniel did not love God enough. Moses did not love God enough. Samuel did not love God enough. Peter did not love God enough. Neither did Paul, neither did John, neither did any of us. Nobody in existence has loved God enough except Jesus. Nobody else. That is one sin I'm going to mention in this video because we have other videos that are all about this topic. There is nobody on earth who loves God enough. We are all guilty of that sin. Now, I could mention 10 more, but that's in other videos you can look up on the channel. So we're getting close to 8 minutes. As we wrap up this video, did the apostles sin like you and me? Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did. In fact, Paul said, even as a much older man, when he wrote his letter to Timothy, that he was the chief of all sinners. Can you believe that Paul said that? I know there's a movement on the internet where Christians are preaching that we can quit sinning, and that is diabolical. That is from pride and their ego and their self-righteousness and their lack of godly discernment and a lack of Bible reading, a lack of studying, a lack of meditating. Everybody sins every single second, including the apostles. Amen to that. Only Jesus is special. Only Jesus, not anybody else.